Hello again, guys. This is Brain Smasher doing a response video to CountBlagorath's CD shelf storage video. And I've got something I'm pretty proud of to show off my storage, so I'm happy to partake in showing off my CD storage and everything else. I moved into this place with my girlfriend in March. Right now it is July 15th or so. So anything that looks like it's kind of a wreck, maybe like this, is still kind of a work in progress because I've been spending a lot of time, well, I did spend a lot of time, but it's done now, building these shelves from scratch for what is the majority of my collection, CDs. As you can see, I'm not really all that big into LPs. Got maybe, I don't know, 200 or 300. I like to think that I just kind of go with the essentials. And if I want to hear an album to listen to and I like it enough just to listen to it, I buy it on CD. And if I love it and really want to have like a collector's item of it, I get it on LP. That's pretty much kind of how I go. And also I use mainly my computer to listen to stuff and preview stuff and check out new stuff and then decide if I want to buy it. So this is actually a really cool project. I had been buying shelves for years. I've had the ones that are like this, only, you know, more rows. I've had like 5 of them for so many years, and I've always wanted to have something built into the wall like this, and so I finally had my chance when moving in here to build it, and it turned out to be a lot cheaper than I ever expected it to be. And I also learned some things that I thought I would share with you in case you ever wanted to go into building something like this, so that you don't run into the same problems that I did when I did it. I found on Amazon these brackets were, I want to say, like 20 to a package for 12 bucks a piece. So I bought 2 boxes of them and had enough brackets to spare left over. But as you can see, there's plenty of support, and these brackets go all the way up each row. And then there's like 6, I think, over here. So as far as the brackets cost, that was only like $40 or something like that. And then the wood, I found wood that was already cut to this width. I want to say it was like 5 inches at Lowe's, and they were I don't know, like 6 or 8 feet long or something. So I went in there, and I don't know if you knew this, but you can have Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, probably any lumber store, cut stuff for you, and it's like 25 cents per cut. So I could deal with it here, but I just thought paying a couple extra bucks for having them cut it, all uniform, nice straight cuts. So I did that, and then I had them cut down like shorter lengths and then longer lengths here, and then I had a bunch of leftover wood, which I used for the ends, except for up here where I used like door handles to keep those in. The only part that was kind of troublesome about this is that it's really hard to configure where you're going to put your screws, as you can tell. So I think I wound up actually, I didn't screw this one in, but the rest of them, they're in there pretty solid. They're also over on this side. So I love the way that turned out with the excess wood. But anyway, so I started up here with the numbers 1349, 324, Third and Immortal, Abigor, stuff like that. A lot of this stuff is still kind of in disarray. It's not in the best organization as it has been in the past. You know, obviously I want to go like alphabetical and then chronological, but then you run into stuff like this. Like here's Immortal. I've got this version of Battles in the North. I've got this version, this version of Battles in the North, and then here's a live bootleg. So, you know, I don't even really care to think about what order to keep my versions of different albums in. Immortal is my favorite band, and this is my favorite album by them. I've got double copies of Pure Holocaust. I've got double copies of Diabolical Full Moon Mysticism. You should see the LP section too. It's nuts. So that's the way I do it. I do it alphabetical, chronological within the bands. I'm pretty happy that I've got a lot of extra space to work with. Should I happen to maybe buy a few more CDs as time goes on. So yeah, I've got plenty of room to expand. So the one thing I wanted to tell you about is if you decide to do something like this, I strongly recommend that you make sure that you give yourself a little more room above each row, because some of these, as you can see, are really tight. Now I just kind of like, I eyeballed the distance with some of these. So a lot of them are really tight, and another thing is like this is kind of tied up against the ceiling, and it kind of gets into some hairy situations with digipacks. It's kind of hard to get them to stay in there like this. It fits kind of okay. This is Abigor, but it won't stand up straight. So I would say definitely give yourself maybe like enough room to put one CD on top of this, for enough wiggle room for those tall things, you know, the boxes and stuff. So I kind of hate that they won't stand up. There's a lot of things that are kind of getting dinged up by jamming them in there straight, so you got to put them in at an angle. So that's kind of annoying. I wish I would have maybe spent a little bit more time doing that, but my fear was that when building it that I would run into the problem of getting too low for this to fit in here. But so this is that's not exactly a record cabinet, but it worked out really well for it. I bought it at a university surplus sale. I live in Iowa City, where the University of Iowa just dumps all their furniture like once a year or so, and so they sell it off. I bought this super sturdy rack for 50 bucks. I fucking love it. It holds tons of LPs. I got plenty of room in there. It's got this nice drawer. This is where I keep my 7 inches. I'm not really so hot on 7 inches. I've got some extra jewel cases in here. So yeah, I really love this thing. Total solid metal. But my magnet collection used to be there. But yeah, so that's where those are. So as you can see, I got my speaker there, record player. This is a 6 CD changer, dual cassette player. This is my receiver. Down here I've got just some metal books and stuff. I've got some A5s, Earthen Pillars, Blood of the Black Owl, a couple of toothbrushes in case I need to, you know, emergency toothbrushing. A couple of years ago, a friend of mine gave me a fuckload of toothbrushes, and I don't know why I took that. But yeah, so that's that. I got a couple of movies. I don't really watch DVDs that much anymore, so I don't really know. They're just there. Some video games and stuff. I don't really play that often anymore either. Over here, I'm kind of starting to put up some posters. This is Dawn, one of my favorite bands, advertising their Sorg Passforte Vingar Flow EP. Apparently these were printed for Necropolis back in, hell, I guess this would have been like 96 or something, and they never wound up getting to Necropolis. So a friend of mine gave me a copy of this poster to put up, and I absolutely love them for it. This is Obsequiae, one of my favorite bands. This is Immortal, my favorite band, an old tour poster from when they toured with Blasphemy, Rotting Christ in '93. Here I've just got some old zines for more of Exalted Deeds and crap. I used to read zines and stuff because before the internet, that was how you had to find out about metal. Up here, I don't really like tapes. I really despise tapes, actually. So I've got a couple of boxes of them up here. Most of it is just like Nuclear Blast shit, like Dismember and Entombed and Relapse crap, Incantation and Amorphous and shit like that. Just stuff I've bought at like pawn shops over the years to have in cards that had tape players. This is one of my battle jackets that I'm working on. Got a Lordian Guard patch. Got a little Vlad Dracul patch on the back of it. So this is where I've been doing my videos most recently. This is where I started out doing them. Just got a nice little 2-speaker system with a subwoofer. Sounds pretty good. We're listening to Volknut right now. What else do I have to show you? This is the best television show ever, Nathan For You. Strongly recommend you watch that. This is my Eraserhead box set, one of my favorite movies of all time. We could go on and on. Crispin Glover, autographed copy of Bartleby. So, thanks for watching. If you got any questions, suggestions, ideas, thanks, praise, hails, whatever, leave them in the comments below. make sure you subscribe and metal on.